Hello everyone, it's CL Essy here. I was just watching over my set versus Motobug here. This is the first time that I beat Motobug with Lucario, and I figured maybe I would just do some analysis on it because I was watching it back and I was thinking to myself, man, if this set were at a much bigger tournament, like if this set were at a regional or major or something, I feel like people really would have been going crazy for a lot of stuff that was happening here. And while it does seem a little bit disingenuous to do analysis of the first set that I beat Motobug with Lucario, and it would take way too long to do analysis of all the sets that I lost. So we're just gonna look at this one and see if we can find any interesting stuff to go over here. Just gonna let it play for a little bit. Yeah, okay, so first thing I see here is my standard little opener that I like to go for is the dash attack forward tilt side B on the ground. It does a clean 33%. It's definitely breakable. Like, there are a lot of things you can do about it. You're going to see Motobug doing some stuff about it later in the set. Not sure why my taskbar gets stuck there. You're going to see Motobug doing some stuff about it later in the set. You're going to see it not connect a lot of times, but when it does connect, it's a nice clean 33. And it can be a little bit difficult to punish if the forward tilt does connect. So we've got, it also converts very nicely when the side B does connect. At the earliest percents on some characters, you can get a tech chase when they DI away, and if they DI in, you just get a combo. On Sonic here, you get sort of a pseudo thing, like you get a mix up. Where here I go for dash attack and Motobug falls into it. Dash attack up tilt's gonna convert. Obviously, it always converts. This time it converts into forward air, and I can just B reverse the Aura Sphere back on stage, and I have nice positioning here to continue the punish. Let's look at this in full speed. Yeah, so you can see I'm just kind of... This is really common stuff for this matchup, is both of the characters are just sort of like putting out moves that are like kind of near each other, because there are a lot of tiny little drift mix-ups that they can both do, where, that back air is trying to connect in this zone here. It's not quite going to miss, but I can keep positioning off of it, and that makes me real happy. I'm looking for some down tilts here. This is the uppies combo. Does not quite connect. I have my famous 51% success rate on combos off of uppy, so you don't have to worry yourself too much whenever you get hit by that. That's for sure. Let's look at this again. Oh yeah, this could have been a side B, but it wouldn't have really done too much anyway. Yeah, there's some SDI on the Sonic up air here. Going for forward air, up air. You can see the up air is still connecting, but the SDI is making it a very awkward position. Like SDI into Lucario down air just makes it very awkward for Sonic to convert off of that. Which is nice for me. I don't like it when Sonic converts too much. So yeah, you can see here's dash attack forward tilt. Motobug is like SDIing the dash attack away and getting hit by the very early hit of the dash attack, which I believe has a slightly different hitbox. I'm not totally sure of the details, but you can see they're very far away when the forward tilt comes out here, so they're not in any danger of getting dash attack forward tilt side bead. However, I still have a little bit of positioning off of this. So I go for some down tilt zoning into forward air zoning, into just sort of looking around, looking for more stuff. That's what the dash attack is. You're just looking for something. You just want something. Oh my God, who's calling me? Why are people always calling me? So I can't take a call right now. It's okay. I like when people call me. Yeah, so we got the aura spend here. This is a spot that I feel like I don't normally spend aura, but I see a lot of Lucarios do like to spend aura here. I generally, to borrow a Siffy B's word, I like to be judicious with my aura, generally. And so, but deciding to spend it here, I do it a little bit different. I do the angle down into the stage, so it makes it look like they're going to have to get up immediately if they want to do any sort of punish on my landing lag, but then canceling out gives me time to jump back up and do the back air here. I didn't actually expect, just looking at this VOD, I didn't think motobug was going to fall for this, you know. But they did, so that's nice. Yeah, getting this back air out here. I feel like a lot of Lucarios would have just gone straight here, and then that means it's like you're not going to be low enough to actually punish this this spin dash. I think that's a spin dash. It's some kind of ball move. And then next, what I'm going for here after this recovery is dash attack forward tilt, and then if you hold left here during this forward tilt, you'll do a hey guys and you'll fall to ledge, which is what I was going for here, but I timed it a little late. And then this is also a situation that you'll see a lot whenever you play against Motobug or Sonic Lucario or whatever, which is doing the up B and then doing this down air here. This is just a really nice Sonic out of disadvantage thing. Sonics love this. It's beautiful. It's so good, because you're going to see it more in this set again, is this situation and doing different things off of this, and me getting mixed up by like several other things in this spot as well. So look forward to that. Yeah, looking for some more stuff, not quite getting it. Got some SDI on the down air here to keep myself closer to center. You can see that down air would have, like, it probably wouldn't have killed me. I probably could have SDI'd it in a way to make it kill me, but I made extra sure that it doesn't kill me there. And then this DIing, DIing off for the Sonic up throw makes it a little harder for Sonic to convert. This idea is very Dreffen inspired. Is just like spending all of your possible drift and like every tool that you have to just at the last second double jump and do an aerial for your opponent that's been hanging out on the ledge too much. There's a little fun little Lucario spin on it, is that I get to cancel off of the hit when the hit connects. But this is a very risky maneuver. I would not recommend doing this very often. You should really only do this every once in a while. But when it hits, boy does it feel good, and boy does it make your opponent feel silly. So that's nice. And then in a slightly different world, I might have even been able to convert off of this. I think I was able to see that I'm not quite going to be able to convert off of this up air here. So I just didn't even bother canceling it, and we got a reset. And now you can see I'm looking for zoning. I'm looking for forward air. I'm doing like my little timing spacing mix-ups with the dash hands with the shield. You know, all of this is just like I'm waiting to try to pick the exact moment that Motobug is going to come in, and I just barely seem to misassess that, because I think right here this is where I was about to like make my call that I was going to actually hit the button. I'm not sure. You can't quite tell. Maybe not. And then waiting here on the forward air, waiting to hit the meteor cancel right here, so I can actually almost hope to get the Lucario vertical up B sweet spot, and then Motobug putting the spring out just to make my life hell pretty much. And you can see, again, the judicious saving of the aura there. A lot of Lucarios, I'm pretty sure, would have spent. But I see, I'm at 132. I'm not, this stock is not, it's not going anywhere. Like, I'm dying to a forward air or a back air or something. I'm not, I would much rather come back this next stock and have aura, because I can hit, like down tilt into side B is going to be a kill if I hit it near the edge of the stage. Or, I mean, you can see I messed it up here, but we've got that could have been a back air perhaps. And Motobug is just like swiftly building up percent on me with like these little like stray hits. I'm trying to do stuff in between them. It's not quite connecting, falling into stuff. And 45 is a lot of percent to take during such a time period. So this is a very, very Moxie, very Vivisthesia inspired Aura Sphere here. Just using these to try to catch various drifts and falls, like sharking with Aura Sphere is awesome. One of my favorite parts of playing this character is trying to aim these little balls right here. and then it picks up the stock actually, which is very nice. And I think this is the first example that we see of me actually getting aura with the last hit of the, well, not the last hit, but the hit that connects of the Nair there. You know, Lucario picking up aura on the opponent's respawn invincibility is the thing that players in Massachusetts P+ are starting to pick up on, and we're starting to play mix-ups on the opponent's respawn, which is really cool. I'm happy to see the other players adapting to me, you know, picking up this character more often and really trying to abuse the fact that you can get a lot of aura on the opponent's respawn. Yeah, getting the reverse hitbox. Oh, and there's dash attack forward tilt, you know, side B not connecting quite again. Getting the reverse hitbox on the forward air is very weird there. And you can see, again, we've got up B down air. This time I'm not directly punishing it, but at least I'm not getting hit by it. And then winning a mix-up afterwards when motobug is actually actionable with a sort of zoning forward air here, catching a dash in. I went for something more off of it because I seem to have not noticed that, you know, they just barely have time to fall to ledge. I think I was trying to catch a double jump here, which did not quite play out that way. Very, very prescient by motobug there to just sort of catch my platform shield and get the back throw. Not getting quite too much off of it. This is Bradley Ron Gunshoe right here is this up smash, the man that I learned this from. I assume that it's because, you know, he's been playing forever, and back in 3.6 that up smash did 8%. Now it only does 6, but I still picked it up. I learned it. I think it still has some potential. The first, all the hits of Lucario up smash until the last hit being weight dependent set knockback, so you can chain these against characters. It doesn't work the best against Sonic, but on DI away you can definitely chain them, and they can build up a little percent, get some stuff going. I don't get anything too great with it in this set, but in some other sets you can see it. This is a nice raw back air from motobug here. I feel like Sonic doesn't really get the opportunity to do that too much. His momentum sort of does a weird little thing here where you can see it sort of stops right before the RAR. His momentum doesn't retain very well into the air, which I imagine must be very awkward for Sonic players. I find it quite awkward when I play Sonic myself, so. And you can see me looking again for the up smash there. It doesn't quite work out this time either. Yeah, I got the homing attack there. Is that blast attack? I think it's just homing attack. Yeah, again, looking for just any sort of stray hit to confirm here. This is where tilt stick really helps out, is being able to do like really consistent running up tilts. Because, you know, I'm going to be honest, I could do those before. I play left-hand claw. I played melee. You know, like I can do a running up tilt if I need to. I don't need to hear people in the comments section yelling about tilt stick. But it's nice to have it without too much of a technical barrier. I like when there's not a technical barrier to stuff like that. You can see me even doing a little bit of the really limp wrist boogie in between stocks there, just for fun, just to remind everyone that I'm, yeah, let's not get confused here. Trying to take advantage of Lucario's down air here as like sort of a pseudo DJC thing, and you'll see that again later in the set. This is it didn't quite work out, but very, very clean punish from motobug. Catching my double jump there actually makes this position very difficult to get out of, and Sonic back air just so strong, but not quite killing. I feel like this like Earthbound Smashville has a slightly different camera or something, because I feel like it, you know, it appears like I should have died there, but maybe it's because it's widescreen. Could be that also. Getting a reverse on the side B here is very strange, but you can see you might be able to see the vision of the first hit up smash here, where it's just like it sort of chains the combo along, tries to keep that sort of consistency going, because, you know, it's with the set knockback, they're always going to be in about the same spot. That's probably an adaptation that I could afford to make in this Lucario Sonic matchup, is like keeping better track of the fact that Sonic is going to be a little higher off of that first hit up smash than some other characters. You know, a lot of characters hit the ground off of it, for example. And now I'm just looking for something. I'm doing my moves. I'm fucking doing 3 interactions in a row. I'm just trying to fight. And motobug is having none of it. Motobug is beasting on me for making the foolish error of attempting to engage when I should not. and getting a full punish off of it. But again, falling for just the little upbeat cancel. This is you know, I'm awaiting the day where I don't get to really do this anymore and I get really punished for this, because that means I get to save my aura for the next stock like pretty much every time. I know it's really hard to punish. I'm not saying, like, I'm not faulting people for not being able to punish this. I definitely get caught by this as well when I'm playing against a Lucario, and also it's a very strong mix-up position for Lucario. Like, you know, you expect Lucario's off stage, it's not great, but this is a pretty good spot for him. He can do a lot of stuff off of this. I mean, well, I'm not going to say it's a good spot, because in many positions, like if Motobug does something other than like get up attack here, like if Motobug is on the stage already, if they know that I'm going here, then it's pretty bad for Lucario. But in situations where your opponent is on ledge, it's kind of excellent, because you have the mix-up of like landing bear, or you can cancel into double team, and you can just sort of like go to center stage and be pretty happy with it. Or you can like double jump and then try to play some sort of landing mix-up. You can double jump and do stuff with your Aura Sphere. Just do whatever you want. But against opponents who are super conscientious and they know that Lucario wants to get to this spot, they can just sort of like set up in advance, and then they're prepared. They're putting out a hitbox by the time Lucario gets there, so he doesn't really have time to cancel. And then maybe the next stage of that mix-up would look like Lucario cancels from much higher up and then tries to play like dare landing mix-ups. I would be interested to see that world, but that's very far from the world that we're living in, where you see stuff like this all the time. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. Motobug's so clean with those sweet spots, as always. That's something that I need to pick up on, is that Motobug just doesn't like miss these ever when they want them. Also, very good coverage on the Omps attack from Motobug here with the dash attack is a nice pickup. Going for the get up attack again here, I think might be a little too like thinking of it as a Swiss Army knife, because you can see I'm doing the exact same thing that I mentioned earlier as a possibility, where I just double team and now I have center and now I'm zoning, and off of this zoning I almost get something but don't actually get anything. But you can see the idea of how that could have been very different. And we've just got a whole lot of, you know, timing, spacing mix-ups. We're just looking to hit each other, and then Motobug catches this. I think I realized just like a fraction of a second too late that I will be actionable for a little bit here. I could have tried to air dodge, maybe play a mix-up on the way down, but overall this is just like very strong advantage play to go for this up air, because it's essentially unpunishable. Like there's nothing I can ever do that's going to make Motobug sad that they did this. So, and after a million missed opportunities from both sides anyway, you know, I would say for a normal person, you can't be too upset about losing a game like this. I'm always upset about a game like this, because if I want to win, I want to win hard, and if I want to lose, I want to lose hard. I don't like when it goes down to the last hit. Feels like I'm rolling the dice, you know. It doesn't feel as skill testing to me personally. That's just me. Going into game 2 on Lilac Cruise here. This is a very low ceiling stage. Gonna want to look out for that later. So we've got, again, dash attack forward tilt side B. You can see I didn't quite go for the side B because the forward tilt doesn't connect here. I was probably mashing it, but even like, you know, Motobug could have shield grabbed this, but it's hard when you're in the little blender trying to react to that sort of thing, because you get hit and you're like, all right, I'm SDIing out. You can see Motobug actually SDI down and away, which is very good. SDI on Lucario dash attack is like SDI down and away and then play a mix up. Here they shielded, you know, you can buffer roll, you can dash away, you can full hop, if they shield grabbed it, it would have punished me, but I can understand why they wouldn't want to go for that. But that's the kind of thing I would go for. I would do like SDI down and away shield grab, because I like getting that big opening, you know. That's my thing. So then we go into a little bit of shield pressure here. Down tilt catches what I assume was probably a jump out of shield. I'm not going to go frame by frame. The YouTube frame by frame is not great. But down tilt side B, this would have punished staying in shield, but it also punishes an action out of shield. I'm pretty sure you can roll between the down tilt and the side B. Like, not all of the Lucario shield pressure, all of the Lucario combos, you know, all of them have some answer or another. the reason he's strong is it's just like the answers to stuff can be so different. But if you ever know what the Lucario is going to do, if they're ever doing the same sort of cancel set in a row, like, you know, you're playing against this one Lucario, they just keep dash attack down smashing, you know, like you can DM me and I'll tell you what to do for any individual cancel pattern. You know, like dash attack forward tilt side B, like you can CC between hit 1 and hit 2 or hit 2 and hit 3, and you can punish if you have a fast enough move. Like it's not rocket science to beat dash attack forward tilt side B. It's not really rocket science to beat any of the Lucario options, but the strength of Lucario is that he's the one who's determining when a lot of the mix-ups are occurring, and, you know, he has a lot of I'm getting off on a tangent here. It's just this is the first, like, real shield pressure type situation that I feel like we've seen, so I wanted to go a little bit more into detail on that. And then you can see I just totally beef it after, so... going for the off the side B, trying to get a conversion on Sonic here. You have to play a mix-up here. Like earlier in the set, you know, I play the mix-up off dash attack. That was good. That got me my percent that I needed. But here, I treat it almost like a combo and go for this. I'm trying to hit this forward air, because if this hits, I can B reverse or sphere cancel, and I can just go right back over to the ledge over here, and I'll feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. But it misses completely, and I'm just in mega disadvantage. And then this is my no ADHD meds recovery right here. Like, what this is just like, I really don't want to die. Please, I'm gonna go high. I'm at 12%. Please don't kill me, motobug. And then, you know, I die at 12%. That's the way things go sometimes. Got some more zoning. Got a little bit more mistech. Got a little bit more high recoveries. This is where the Lucario horizontal sweet spot comes in real clutch here. This is a terrible spot if you're like Fox or something, because, you know, don't get a true sweet spot. We've just got some more. We're, you know, feeling each other out, trying to get any good combos. This is where the motobug punish game comes into play, where you can see just like up tilting my. I believe that was like a tech slide off. What was that? They hit me over here. Yeah, that looked like a slide off tech to me. But up tilt into down air is just brutal. It's going to totally kill me. I'm mashing jump that whole time, I promise you. I am just completely dead with no recourse. Even with the SDI away, is just like not going to save me. Sonic down air can be brutal. And this is the point in the set where when I was watching this alone, I started noticing how much motobug likes to go for those like up tilts and those forward airs when their opponent is in the corner. And I can't assume it's anything but just because down air is just so high reward. Like that's a true spike for those of you who don't know. It's very strong. You can see it killed Lucario at 60 there. Lucario's reasonably heavy. You know, his recovery's it's no slouch. But you can always rely on just knowing exactly where and when your opponent's going to be and just popping them with a back air. Just send them out of the world. Or maybe, I guess we're in space, so maybe we can send them back to the world. And you can see this is when I decided to try to go a little beast mode. I was like, all right, let's start moving a lot faster. Let's start playing some baits. And you can see I'm just sort of like Neo in the Matrix here around Motobug's moves. And I think that's really awesome. I get like nothing off of it, but I thought that looked really cool. So that's like sort of sick. And you can see here, dash attack side B or dash attack forward tilt. You know, motobug ASDI down, buffer roll away. Okay, they took 10. We're back in neutral, and they can play something off of the fact that I'm trying to push it when it's not really advantage. You know, so like Lucario, yeah, he can determine a lot of mix-ups with his dash attack. His dash attack is very it's very, what's the word? It's like very centralizing in a lot of interactions, but other characters have plenty of tools to deal with it. And you can see Sonic's dash dance grab is very strong here. So. And motobug here, I feel like when I first got to this state, they probably would have short hop nared here, back closer to when stack stun existed and before my SDI became as well known throughout the universe. But you can see just like this forward air connects and I'm SDIing down and away. You know, I'm SDIing down and away on every character, every combo right here. Just SDI down and away, just trying to hit the floor, just trying to be actionable. And, you know, it gets me to ledge here, but they get a little more damage off of the forward air than the nair would have, I assume. I don't actually know for sure. But it connects a little cleaner. And getting, yeah, same thing right here. Off of this down tilt, up tilt, nair. You can see down and away into the floor, get a slide off, and then I'm actionable again. If you're ever not sure what to do on a move, and you don't think a kill move is coming, you think they're going to try to combo you, I highly recommend SDI down and away. Just try to get to the floor. Being in a tech situation when your opponent thinks you're going to be in the air is incredibly valuable, and vice versa. Being in the air when your opponent thinks you're going to be teching is super valuable. Just like being able to mix up your opponent on whether you're on the ground, in the air, you know, actionable, not actionable, able to be reverse, like not able to be reverse, any of that stuff, those are super important for defensive games. So it lets me get a fair out here. I don't really get anything off of the fair. Due to the weakness of my familiarity with Lucario's double team cancels, but that's okay, because we get back to neutral, and that's what matters. And you can see this is like my first extended punish in a while. Oh my goodness, my YouTube is dying. But dash attack up tilt, classic bread and butter, you know, up tilt again, just turn it into a grab. All of these like this is basic Vivesthesia stuff. Tilt stick Lucario sort of fundamentals is just like dash attack, just do some up tilts, just do some grabs, like just keep it going, you know. You don't have to worry about what you're doing, just keep the stuff going. And you can see how cleanly it converts on a character like Sonic sometimes. That this is just like juggle advantage state the whole time from 30% into just like this is a stock on Lilac Cruise. We got the uppies combo there. And important stuff for hitting this is that's strong hit upper there. This is like strong hit upper is not going to convert on Sonic in like 15% after this. You're going to have to go for middle hit. It's going to get way more awkward, but this is the percent where you want to look at it. Look for it, sorry. And then you can see I cancel into it as I'm still moving. So when I get the double jump, I sort of have this like momentum still going up to get that up air, and that's going to be an early stock. And I think stuff like that is really important for playing Lucario. And here's the sort of like quote DJC unquote that I mentioned earlier to look for later. You can see I just sort of like mix up and I'm back down to center from here. I think this is an underutilized part of Lucario's kit, is that you can just like go from the air to the ground so quickly in like a weird way with weird drift using his down air. So I'd like to see Lucario's using more of that. And here are some more things that I've mentioned a million times. You know, I'm looking for forward tilt side B. Motobug's looking for up tilt down air. They find their thing. I don't get mine. That's going to be an early stock for the Motobug. Now, of course, I want more here. I wanna up B towards them and I want to nair them. But this was just like, this is not the spot to do it. Because even if it connects, like, so first of all, this insanely hard conversion to connect with this up B, it would probably barely combo. They're way too early of a percent. If the nair connects, they're going to like over here and they're like so fine. And it's just absolutely not worth the aura, because if I miss, I'm like so dead. Like just so ridiculously dead. But if I cut it early and go back to stage, you know, I can play my up tilt stuff. And this, I also really liked this this first hit down air here, because it kind of looked like they're SDIing out. I'm noticing there's just like a lot of SDI between us two when we're playing each other. Yeah, they're SDIing out of this down air, it looks like away, but I can catch, because I'm assuming only the first hit of the down air is going to hit, and I can cancel it into side B. And then that's going to keep my advantage state going. Overextend a little bit to ledge here. I feel like, looking at this now, what I'm thinking in my mind's eye, I'm like, okay, wave bounce this aura sphere cancel, so I end up over here, but I'm still facing forward, you know? But I think I can see what I was looking for. I should have just done it a little earlier, because then I could be doing my up tilt stuff. And I go for the uppies again here, but you can see this is what I was talking about. Just a few percent more, and the strong up air is not going to convert anymore. It sends Sonic too far, so you can't actually get the follow up hit there. If I were myself here, I would want to see a little more down tilt spacing and a little less of this other stuff. I can tell I'm very, very anxious this day. You know, this was definitely a caffeine day. I had an iced coffee this day for sure. But the, you know, up tilt zoning Up tilt zoning is one of the reasons I think Lucario is really strong, especially in matchups like this, because up tilt, just like any hit of up tilt, it's gonna pick you up in up air. And I don't know what the Lucarios were doing before they started running around and up tilting everywhere on the stage. I'm gonna be honest. And you can see there's the DJC down air again. Just these are the things that I look for in my own Lucario play. Looking for something clean off of a side B. Probably shouldn't. Like, theoretical maximum Lucario play is not looking for side B here, but at my lower level of Lucario, I'm looking for side B. It's what I'm comfortable with. And then off of this, you can see, yeah, here's the use case of the up smash. Like, it's 2 clean hits there, and it confirms into strong hit up air at the mid percents on this mid faller guy, and it's just a very nice pickup. And you can see Sonic's a little too low for up air to kill off the top here, so I'm just converting into back air and trying to play the next situation. I'm gonna look for up tilt. Yeah, I'm looking for up tilt, you know. And then Lilac Cruise has a low ceiling, so this kills. I was like, please God, let this kill. And luckily, you know, we're here. So, I mean, that's why I counterpicked here. I was trying to kill off the low ceiling, but still, that's a very low ceiling. So, and here we've got the counterpick. I mean, the counterpick makes sense. The stage is a lot bigger. And this is what I would like to see more from myself. Is this wave dash down tilt spacing, getting the tipper hit of down tilt and converting it specifically into grab, because just for my own comfort's sake, a lot of the time I go for down tilt into side B. It's like, you don't have to react to whether it hits. Like, there's a much bigger reaction window if it hits or not. You know, it's just like, it's way simpler to do, but it's also like unbelievably worse. So I want to see more of this from myself, and I'm proud of myself for hitting it here. And then of course I get my mix up, like my mix up in air quotes, you know, I get my chic throw mix up here, where all my throws on all DIs are converting. So I get my up smash. I go for a second up smash because I didn't quite notice the motobug is too high. This is also what I was talking about earlier. But I cancel out of it, get to keep sort of playing advantage. And then I kill myself because, you know, this camera here on this stage, I kind of thought that slant wasn't there, but, you know. These things happen. We're playing on a stage list, you know. You keep playing, sometimes you die at 9. It's part of being a competitor. Can't stress that enough. And Motobug is just getting crazy pickups here like this. You're playing against Motobug, this is like the scariest thing that's ever happened to you. You're in this spot. Because they can just, you know, like you're worried about that downer spike. Like, bad things can happen to you. And here I'm looking for my own spike, my Aura side B, my Force Blast spike, but you got to start that much earlier if you want that to connect. It's frame 13, so just cleanly whiffed. But you can afford to go for it a little more with Lucario than if you were like, you know, what's a character? You could go for this more than if you were like Knuckles or something, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Because you got the horizontal sweet spot mix up here to help save you a little bit. It's yeah. And I'm looking for more zoning here. Here's one of the things, if you're ever going to try to play Lucario and you're trying to convert off of these up B cancels here, is that as soon as you cancel the up B into a move, or maybe even just cancel the up B, I'm not totally sure, your momentum is like stopping completely. Like, it sort of feels like when you're going up, you should keep going up a little, but you can see I needed to go up a little bit more, and I maybe even needed to angle it like more to up here if I wanted to connect this. Like, you kind of want to go a little over them and fall onto it, but it can be very awkward, especially when your opponent's character is a faster faller than yours. And it's very awkward to aim, but you still get advantage sometimes, but it feels really bad to spend the 50% of aura, you know. Speaking of 50%, that's my success rate roughly on those conversions. So again, don't worry too much. Don't worry too much when you get hit by those. Just zoning with up tilts here. And you can see here's full character length SDI, get out of Fox up air. Or not Fox, Sonic. I'm thinking of other characters whose up airs do not work when you SDI them. So always try to SDI that, you know, just like SDI away. If they're drifting to the left, SDI to the right, you know, vice versa. And then we got a little pickup here, some kind of tilt into an up air. Yeah, it's an up tilt and up air. That'll do. And here's the mix up. Getting this nair on respawn. Get some aura right here. Yeah, we're zoning. We're looking for stuff. Falling forward air into side B feels really good when you can hit it, but you have to know like exactly kind of where your opponent's going to be. You have to like fall on them. This one's pretty inconsistent. I wouldn't recommend going for it too much. And there I went for the hey guys again there. Didn't quite get it. Oh goodness, wrong button. Come on now. Yeah, playing some advantage here. And here's the mix-up that I mentioned earlier that we were going to look for later, which is off of motobug doing the spring. I'm looking for down air here, but they are just like falling, regular falling, you know, no fast fall, no down air, no nothing. And you can see it takes Sonic just so much longer to hit the ground when this happens. And I get like mega mixed up by it, and I get super owned. I just get like second fared, and then I get like down tilt nothinged, but you know, it's still just like very, very damaging to the ego and to the situation, just to everything. To be pretty much even in an advantage, and then you get mixed up by that. Like, that's a situation I would like to be able to play better. I feel like it's sort of, this situation is sort of analogous to the Lucario up B cancel around here that I was talking about, like falling with back air or DT cancel to center. You know, this is like sort of Sonic's equivalent of that, and you can see here that I beefed it in a similar way to how motobug was. I didn't get punished massively, but that's the kind of thing I notice a lot when I'm playing. So, and you can see, oh my goodness, these keys are just, my hands are not where I think they are. You can see this ceiling is definitely a bit higher than Lilat's. This would have killed on Lilat for sure. So good counter pick. We got a Moxie Aura Sphere. Sharken with Aura Sphere, and then I believe this back air does not connect, but this early blast attack recovery, I think I get to ledge first. I've looked at this so many times, I can't tell if I get to ledge first or if motobug's just in helpless by the time, or in, you know, rather just like not actionable to grab the ledge. I think they might not be there. The double team is not very good at grabbing the ledge, so that would make sense as well. But, and then you can see here's me doing my little movement trick, and then motobug just like completely catches it. I'm doing my down air DJC type thing, and then they catch my shield on the platform. That's how you can tell we've played each other a number of times, is knowing to go for that, and then getting a clean forward air, and we got 2-2. And I'm looking for something. I'm trying to be cute with my movement here. I hate when I'm watching myself and I see this. I'm just like moving around way too much. Like I'm just doing like my shield drop, double jump back on the platform, you know, like what is this? I don't know what this is supposed to accomplish, but my little bread and butter connects, so I'm happy, and I'm looking for more. I'm playing mix-ups off of it, you know. This is also Vivisthesia right here is always off of the forward air doing B reverse Aura Sphere cancel, not B reverse, turnaround B Aura Sphere cancel. So you're facing the other way, you're looking for back air, and you can hit it landing on Mistech, you can hit it in a lot of combos. I believe it connects later in the set somewhere. But turning those around, I believe, is really strong, and probably something for any Lucario players watching. If you want to try to implement that, I would recommend just like switching when you hit a forward air. If you're doing an Aura Sphere cancel off of it, like if you're going to connect in the air, to do it, to turn it around. Because that way you're connecting with an earlier hit of up tilt. You're connecting with back air if they're still in the air. And those are pretty much the only two reasons. But those are a pretty big two reasons. Because the other thing that you could be doing is getting another forward air off of it. But you don't really get forward air super often. And if you do, you're probably landing between them, which means you can just, like, if you land facing the other way, you can just dash again. Like, it's fine. You can just, you know, like if I'm facing this way and I want to do another forward air on motobug, I can just dash and I can just short hop forward air this way. But this way I get access to bear and I get access to the fast hit of up tilt. And honestly, Lucario's forward air getting nerfed in 3.1 I believe makes this this Bumble Bear, this Conrad thing, this forward air, turnaround B, or sphere cancel back air thing. It connects way more consistent now, in my eyes, from playing the different versions back and forth a little bit. I think it connects way more consistently, and so that's my justification for why I turn around in spots like this. And it also, here it lets me set up for shield drops, so, you know, sort of a similar idea. Yep. Okay, might have been able to connect a RAR back air there. That's weird. Maybe Motobug's Lucario would have hit that, you know. Shout me out in the comments if you know what I mean by that. Oh my god, this fucking keyboard. Motobug, oh my god, I really just don't know where my hands are. Motobug hitting again up tilt into like forward air into down air, you know, a little jab in there in the middle, but you can just see how brutal that combo is. And honestly, I probably should not be playing in the corner quite as much as I am. But you know me, I love my corner. And here Motobug taking advantage of the fact that this like up B into down air mix up is so strong, in that they can just sort of like jump off stage a little bit and afford to like go for it in almost neutral here, effectively. But CC up tilt wins the day when it comes to trying to clean up this stock. So then we got last stock coming in. Yeah, no mix up on the respawn invincibility this time. This is one of the spots right here that made me want to make this video in the first place, which is running off stage and double jumping back on. So here, if you're imagining like Melee or a platform fighter that doesn't have B reversing or wave bouncing here, this spot is a lot less analog. It's a lot more binary, you know, because it's just like, am I going to do an aerial or am I not going to do an aerial? Because I've already spent my double jump. If you're in Melee, your characters aren't actionable out of up B. So it's just like, am I falling with an aerial or am I landing empty? Am I fast falling or am I not? It's a relatively simple situation. But in P+, you have this added element here of the fact that if I wave bounce an aura sphere cancel here, like if I just charge my aura sphere for a little bit and wave bounce it, I can fall right back to ledge. And if I fall with a back air, that's threatening to overhear. But if I go back to ledge, I can play at a completely different timing, the same spacing, but with intangibility, which makes doing this runoff double jump thing, actually, it makes it a lot more like, you know, it was something I always used to do when I was a Melee player, but it was a little more tricksy. And in this game, I think it's more of a real legitimate option, especially for characters like Lucario and Sheik, who can afford to put out a relatively large back air, or sometimes just go back to ledge and then play a ledge dash mix-up. And so Motobug gets caught by the back air here, perhaps thinking that they can punish some lag, but I have better drift than they thought, or thinking that they could catch a fall where I'm not doing an aerial, something. They try to put something out here, but it gets caught. And then this is pure advantage state right here. We just got up tilts. We're just carrying up, and that kills off the top, just barely carried into the top blast zone with the uppies. And this is really what makes Lucario so powerful in my eyes. If you don't have these confirms, the character is just so much worse. But being able to hit this is just such a massive difference maker in like every single matchup, you know. So just like a very nice pickup to end that game, because that could have gone any sort of way. And then we're right back to more of the same. We're just like, we're looking for our openings. And here's the thing that I said that I don't want to see, which is this down tilt side B, because you can see I get the tipper hit of Lucario's down tilt, which is the meteor hitbox on grounded opponents. So it's going to confirm on everyone at the low percent. It's going to put them into that little crumple state. And so I can get a true grab off of this, but going for the side B instead is, sometimes it's going to whiff. You know, if my opponent SDIs away, this side B is not going to hit. I'm going to be in lag. And also the punish that I get is not as good as a punish I would get off of a regular grab. So I don't like this from myself. This comes from earlier days playing Lucario, where I wasn't sure if, my down tilts were going to tip or they were going to get the inside hit. Because if it's the inside hit, this is a pretty good option. But this was definitely a tipper. It was definitely meant to be a tipper, so this is just lazy, you know. I still get a combo off of it and a punish and advantage state because it's not the worst thing ever, but you know, it's a little less than optimal. And this is nice because this is down tilt and then reacting to the fact that I get aura to catch the fall. Motobug is just barely actionable here during the fall, but spending aura here to make this a spike, and this will be just like a totally clean guaranteed kill. And let's even get the let's get some audio on this. It's probably not going to be very loud, you know, but let's get the yeah, he lets you know what's going on. So you're out of there. And I play just the worst mix-up on respawn that you ever can, which is Lucario up smash on their respawn. You get so little aura off of this. I do it. It's left over from friendlies. There's no reason to ever do that in a real tournament set. You get like 3 aura, and sometimes they hit you. But this is a big combo of all the stuff that I've been talking about for the rest of the set. You know, the side B doesn't connect, but Motobug jumps in and gets caught by the next dash attack. We're just putting some zoning moves out. This is actually very similar to what Motobug does to me a lot, where I'm just kind of moving forward for 2 or 3 interactions in a row, and they're putting out their moves, and I'm running into them. But this time, you know, other side of the coin, and then up B down air bails them out once more, and then Dare Spike cleans it up pretty cleanly. Noticing there are definitely some very noticeable patterns in this set, and in this matchup even not between the two of us players. I assume you would see a lot of these things, but I'm just emphasizing that because, you know, people start analyzing P+, and I feel like it can be a very common opinion that it's like, oh, well, I'm never going to see this matchup ever again. Like, what's the point of analyzing this? But, like, you're going to see these Lucario mix-ups in, like, slight variation in, like, every single Lucario matchup. And you're going to see these Sonic disadvantage states in, like, every Sonic matchup. So the analysis... And, you know, you'll see, like, minor variations in other characters. Like, some other characters will have similar advantage or disadvantage states. So I think the analysis is useful. And also, there are a lot of patterns that you can notice for sure. Yeah, that's my brief aside. And then we can see the same recovery mix-up I was talking about earlier with the up B high, cancel into DT to try to get... Motobug tries to punish it, but they do it just a little early while I'm still intangible. Not quite. And then this is also this is a Vivisthesia confirm, is dash attack ASC into Nair. That's going to confirm on a lot of characters at the later percents. You can just keep looking for dash attack. It's not perfect, but it does a lot. And here once again we have early percents, up throw, Nair, DI into the ground, buffer roll away. Classic mix-up situation. Classic punish, disadvantage, just all that. And more combos, more similar, just stuff barely whiffing. And again, converting just barely into the down air spike. I go for the up B cancel there, not just trying to make something happen on the wall here, because you should be able to wall jump, but sometimes with the slant, just like right here, it can be very awkward, and I'm not sure if it was possible there, but either way, I do die a little early. That's the kind of thing I would not go for if I was down, personally, because then I feel like I'm down way too much. But here, it's like, okay, I can get my aura back. I'm up a little bit. And then this, I also liked this a lot from myself, is using the, is this Spear Reverse? Yeah, using the B reverse or sphere cancel to position myself for the sharking. Of course, this was something I have no experience from in Melee. This is just purely P+ tech, and I've really enjoyed figuring out how stuff like that can play into the advantage and disadvantage states of this game. That's one of my favorite parts of this game for sure. Yeah, no need to play a mix-up on the invincibility that time when you're ahead. And just looking for some guaranteed percent here. And you can see here's the thing I talked about earlier where I'm trying to hit that like runoff double jump fair. I'm trying to B reverse ASC back to ledge here, but I miss it, and so I have to do this, which is just a little bit worse. Still getting percent. And then, oh my lord, I need to remap my keys. This fair here, space with just a tiny drift back to bait the shield grab, that's not going to work on almost any character except for Sonic. I'm getting shield grabbed by Snake a million times out of a million there. I'm still going for it. It's not going to work. But it does get me a little fair here. And you can see this is the back air I was also talking about earlier, why you turn that around, because converting into this back air is real nice. You can see it puts Motobug in a really nice spot to continue this punish. Even if I don't exactly get much here, it puts them in a much nicer spot. Yeah, missing that just barely. Getting downer spiked, dying at just like brutally early percent again. Just very, very strong Sonic spike. And then this forward air, one of Sonic's stronger neutral options at the lower percents, if they can get the meteor hitbox on the grounded opponent, sort of like Lucario tipper down tilt. It's going to confirm into grab. Luckily, Motobug can't cancel it into side B, so they can't make the same mistakes that I do. And they get just a nice little grab here. But again, SDI down and away is the bane of every low percent combo's existence, getting me to ledge, and then Motobug is forced to play mix-ups off of it. And you can see I'm just sort of like fighting my position, trying to get just any sort of hit, get my way back to center eventually. And now we have advantage state. And this, yeah, not quite. Ooh, scary. This recovery Roncopter here is, this is an attempt to hit like an early up B sort of like back air thing. I'm hoping to get like the reverse hit here and send them back off, but also it gets me back on stage even if it doesn't connect. So this is a rare example of me spending my aura for like this sort of recovery. I don't do this super often. And then back airing the ledge dash, sort of just like covering a lot of different high angles here with this aura sphere, and then the runoff double jump fair is enough to seal the set. And it's sort of an anticlimactic way for it to end, but I think it does. I think this set did a good job of like showcasing a lot of different stuff in the matchup, and stuff that I think about when I'm playing Lucario, and stuff I think about when I'm playing Motobug in any matchup. So, I thought this would be a fun little thing to make. Shout me out in the comments, I guess, if you liked this, if you want to see more of this. I'll probably never make anything like this ever again, but this was fun. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm Essy, and see you next time.